is there a way that the success of all Australian films internationally, like the year we've just had, how does that help Australia?
I think soft diplomacy is something that governments have been aware of the benefits for a long time. And there's no question about it that film is a very, very potent soft diplomacy weapon, if you like. And film industries are very sexy. So, you can tell because governments are so interested in treaties, for example, talking to each other about having treaties, whether or not the treaties make films actually is less important than the conversation about treaties. And I think that that's symbolic of what good currency film talk is. We've got such a fantastic range, from Toomela to Snowtown to Sleeping Beauty to Eye of the Storm, The Hunter. They're very, very different, they're very place specific, and I think they talk to a wealth in the culture. And I think that's one of the successes of the current slates of films.
Do international audiences respond to Australian films differently to Australians?
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. So, Sleeping Beauty, I think, is a great example of that, where the fact of there being such a divided conversation about Sleeping Beauty in the international market was a strength for Sleeping Beauty. And people said, well, this is a very interesting film because some people hate it and some people like it, and that's a really dynamic conversation. Whereas I don't think that was the same, I don't think that response was the same in Australia. So that I felt was a really different, very different perception outside and inside Australia. I think Toomela plays very differently outside and inside Australia, as did Mad Bastards. There's quite a different feeling about the Indigenous experience that's portrayed in those films. And Eye of the Storm plays here like a Patrick White icon, but internationally it plays like a costume drama and a very good one.
Do you think that our films are more appreciated by international audiences?
No, not necessarily. Depends on the film. Red Dog, for example, is way more successful in Australia than I think it's likely to be internationally. It played very well in Berlin. It plays very well, but it's a hard film to sell and to position for a distributor. And it's playing fabulously well here. So, no, I don't think you can generalise about that.
There's a lot to brag about the last 12 months. What about the 12 months coming up? Do you expect the same level of success?
I haven't actually tried to work out whether I think there's a delivery pipeline that will deliver to all the festivals, because that's partly to do with timing. Are the films going to be ready? And I actually haven't tried to work that out. But I do think that we've got some fantastic films coming up for next year. I'm very thrilled about Happy Feet because, you always need a film that's going to take heaps of money, and hopefully Happy Feet will take heaps of money. But then I'm thinking of A Few Best Men starting on the 26th of January, and I'm very optimistic about that. Played fabulously at the movie convention, and the exhibitors are really behind it. And then, of course, there's another working dog film. So quite a lot to be excited about at the beginning of the year, and that's just January.